be all in person or hybrid, and
Okay.
our neighborhood council decided to be hybrid.
Mhm.
So we have worked on going to a lot of Zoom webinars to find the best technology that integrate with them, and this one was the one that worked for us.
Right,
I've never seen it before.
and she did,
That was daunting, right?
Yeah. and Teresa, I mean, really got us going early.
Great.
So that when it came time to start meeting in person, we were good to go. So
You could do hybrid.
in theory, there's a lot of neighborhood councils that are in a pilot project. They're not yet started on the hybrid because the city itself hasn't figured out this technology. So the
Wow.
head of Dunn came to our meeting to watch it, but I don't think that helped. I don't think, I mean, I think it helped, but I don't think it
But then you have
caused
to
them.
implement it in all of those different neighborhood councils, it's, complicated.
So,
So when we spoke to the UNNC and we stood up, so we're not doing that because this is on video, we're just gonna stay where we're sitting, correct?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
West Adams neighborhood council.
Yes.
well, the thing is, when we get to governing board, now that's a really large room. So it doesn't work quite as well, so you will be
Yeah,
you'll
it
have
might-
to,
Yeah,
we'll have to
It's
move
not just
people
the-
around.
it's larger, but it has very high ceilings, cement floors, so there's, and the room is much larger, so the sound kind of gets lost, so we try to condense it. So it's better if you stand up and address the board that way,
Okay, great.
technology, figure.
Now I'm kind of glad we didn't Zoom because I think we wouldn't have understood all of this. This is wonderful.
Right, so it is not yet 7:00. So,
Okay.
right. So we do have quorum to pull the meeting together, but we still can't start it before the right time. That clown might, do we?
I can
We're
be
decorated for
Oh my.
It's a good addition
Yeah,
to
and
the
plus all this
right?
black, I
That's
think it's kind
hilarious.
of clear that there's something else going on in here. So,
Well,
yeah.
as long as the clown doesn't start talking. Then we got a problem.
Yeah.
Exactly. But
When I walked in and I hadn't been here since she put up the decorations, I said, is that the clown from It? That scary movie, that Stephen King movie that they redid, again
yeah.
recently? She said, yeah, but it's, they have tiny tots, like not daycare, preschool in the morning, but the kids aren't afraid of it.
Really?
Yeah, she said she was very
Really?
surprised that they weren't afraid of it, so.
Real
I
when
was-
I was a kid. Let alone
Yeah.
scary clown.
Yes.
Thank you.
If those eyes start glowing or sounds start emanating,
Exactly.
yeah.
Next week's month.
I know.
Not at all. Can't.
Are you guys still working on the new building?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
She
So you have another
I
building?
thought you were looking at me, I'm sorry, my fault, I was.
Yeah, no, she.
Oh, you have another building?
And she does.
Yeah.
I don't, technically, yeah, the church we're part of is building a building
Oh,
up on
wonderful.
Venice, yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to.
No, but I was thinking about the AIA building.
Yes, yes, we will be opening at the end of the month.
Oh,
And we'll
cool.
have our first major event at the end of November, sorry. Yes. We've got an event on the 9th, but it's not gonna be there.
And do you know John Arnold?
Yes,
Yeah.
very well.
He's on our board.
Well, he's not on our board.
He's on our, used to be, he's on our planning and zoning.
Right.
Yes.
And he is on their board.
Yes, that's why I asked.
He's on our
Because
board
they're-
and he's our AIA California representative, yes. Yeah.
But
We'd love
since
to.
he's not on our board, I don't know if it needs to go on the MPG or not.
Oh, I don't think so.
Right,
Well,
because
yeah,
he's not on
on
the
our
board.
board, yeah.
Right.
He just resigned after being on the board for 16 years.
He told me,
Yeah.
he told me.
But he still chairs our planning and land use with Laura, co-chairs the thing.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Right, I told him he
He's
can't
such a
leave.
special person.
Yeah, I told him he can't leave.
Yeah.
But then, to pay me back, we have to start the meeting.
Okay.
But I am now sitting on a panel at the SCAMP conference that I think his firm is now co-sponsoring a piece of it. So I
Okay.
wrote
Yeah,
into something
yeah.
else. All right, it's 7:00.
All right.
So I am going to call the meeting to order of UNNC's Executive Committee. And we do have quorum. My name is Laura Myers. I'm the UNNC Vice President.
I'm Teresa Masonette. I represent the West Haven Avenues on the board.
I'm Sarah Long Henry. I am an at-large representative.
And I have a general expectation that our president, Paula, will be here, but she is not now, but we do have quorum with these three officers. So I'm again calling the meeting to order, and I'm going to see, this is Teresa, I just do this all the time. So I have it open.
Where is this it?
So, and then share, right? So the first order of business is to review this agenda and the roll call we just did. So the agenda is first general public comments, announcements, and that would be anything not on this agenda. And I'm sorry, I'm looking at the screen. I know I'm not looking at the TV, and I should be. Then we have our executive committee business. I might ask, since we have so many guests, that we might flip the order and skip the first part. Do that after we have a guest presentation. And then next after that is interview candidates to potentially fill vacant seats on the UNNC board. Then we have funding requests from two different organizations, Architecture for Communities Los Angeles and from Project PIT. And then we have a request that this body recommend to the governing board that it establish a standalone UNNC tree committee with Teresa as its chair, a brief update regarding the Neighborhood Council Code of Conduct, consideration of a couple of citywide issues, committee reports if or as needed, old business, agenda items for the next governing board meeting, and then we adjourn. So I would recommend that we, for the moment, do items 2, then move on to item 4, then 5, and then go back to committee business.
Okay, I approve as amended. Or second as amended.
And you're good with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need to do. Okay. Okay, stop the share. Excuse me, and I have had a cold. I don't have COVID, but I will ask Sarah or Teresa if I start coughing too much to take over the chairing. So, at least temporarily, because I am about to cough. Does anybody have any public comments not on the agenda? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on to interviewing at least Dwayne. You can unmute. Hi, Dwayne.
Hello, how are you?
Well, other than having this cough, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for the moment to introduce myself to your executive board. My name is Dwayne Davis. I am running for LAUSD School Board District 1, and I just wanted to introduce myself to you and to the executive board members. I will reintroduce myself once the president arrives as well, but nonetheless, I just wanted to be a fly on the wall and participate in such a manner. Thank you for allowing me the moment to introduce myself to you, and I hope that you have a very productive meeting today.
Well, thank you very much. I should explain to everyone who's coming in on Zoom, we are at the South Seas house, but they are decorating for their Halloween haunted house. So behind us, we have a few additional guests. You might know.
Some enhancement.
Yeah, I saw the
Yes.
clown over in the corner.
Exactly.
I was trying to make sense of it, so I just introduced it to be Halloween.
Yes. So they have a big Halloween event here on Halloween for the community. So, okay. And hi, Candace.
Hey everyone,
You feeling better?
I am feeling better. Thank you for asking. I was out of it last week. This was not great.
Okay, so Candace, we just decided to go ahead and start interviewing candidates and then doing the funding requests and then come back to executive committee business since we have so many guests here tonight.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll be right here.
Okay, she is our treasurer.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we're moving on to item 4, interview candidates, although right now we have a candidate here with us. And essentially, let's see, I can pull up the application
Did you have
Or-
a chance to look at it, Sarah?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry.
and,
I can
Wow.
do it briefly.
right, so,
No worries. Okay. So Hunter, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you'd like to be on our board?
Sure, yeah. So I've lived in Los Angeles for 7 years now. I moved in the summer of 2016. Moved around a little bit. I lived in Koreatown. I lived in New Wilshire, but I've lived in Harvard Heights since the pandemic. We moved in summer of 2020, as a lot of people did, and just really found our space. And I found that over the past 3 years, I have really tried to integrate myself into the community as helpfully as possible. I put on my application, there's examples of me using city services to request drought-resistant trees to plant in the neighborhood. So I was able to plant 3 to 4 drought-resistant trees within my immediate vicinity on the sidewalks, which provide shade and obviously beautify the neighborhood. My other example is that there was a storm recently that knocked over a stop sign near Venice that I called up the streets people for, and they were able to fix that within an hour. Just small things like that, but I really find myself home in my community. It more than anywhere else that I've lived in LA, I really feel like I belong here, and I want to do my part to make it better for myself and for everybody else and all my neighbors. I walk my dogs, I walk my dogs twice a day and talk to people and hear what they have to say, and I really would just like to give back to my community.
Okay, well, first I would say thank you because we do have several vacancies and we're looking for community involvement. I will say that I haven't seen you at any of our meetings before, not on Zoom either, which is convenient for community members. So, but I am happy that you're showing interest now. And we, for the most part, we try to make it clear that there are several things that are really important. There's a lot of training that's required. 6 different.
well, at the moment, 4, maybe 5. They're pending another one, different pieces of training, but there's a code of conduct, there's ethics, there's funding, there's anti-bias, and there's another one that's sort of related to that coming soon.
Okay.
And so, so one of them is very long, a couple of hours. Most of them are quick, but it's important that you take them because if not, then you can't participate and vote. The other is that we have many activities where we need board to participate. And I'd just like to make sure that you'd be fine going out, participating in our outreach events, because
we're doing more and more of them.
and it's the same 5 people who,
No, it's
so-
really hard when you have, say, 6 hours at a community event, and so really we can't expect people to be there more than 2 hours. So you have 3 shifts of 2 hours, set up and clean up. And so even though we have a large board, it's not always easy to have the same people do all of the events. So we've been struggling a
And
little
also,
bit.
every weekend, like last weekend, we had an event with Wilshire Police Department. And then this past weekend was a Taste of Soul, so almost every weekend, so it's unfair to expect the same people every week, to do that. So how do you feel about doing those kind of outreach events?
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. I'm A-okay with all the training and everything. And yeah, to your point, I've not been actually at a UNNC meeting before. I actually only heard about the organization a couple of weeks ago from an aide of Heather Hutt who posted or something that they're looking for vacancies. And that's when I kind of started to look into it. But I do try to give back, to the city in other ways. I participate with my friend's place in Hollywood a lot, which is an house shelter for queer people, especially youth. I spend a lot of time giving back there, especially around the holidays, and I'd love to do something in my immediate neighborhood.
And we do have a homeless committee that does the homeless count in our community and
We have,
got so many.
are you familiar with our committee structure?
More or less. I did some research online in the past few weeks and kind of saw, the representatives and the different boards and different things that you guys do. I can't say that I'm an expert though.
Right, well, as Teresa said, we have a homelessness, it's actual title, homelessness liaison committee, I'm not sure why. We have an environmental committee, we have planning and zoning, we have, public safety and emergency preparedness, same committee. Outreach, communications, which,
Recreation and Park, which doesn't have a chair right now. That's it.
we could have a youth committee, we could have an economic development committee. I mean, those are two that are standing but optional.
Mhm.
Right, so, I mean, with your skill set, I would hope you would contribute with the outreach.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And communications if you need it, and I would love to have a hand in parks and public services for people. I think that it's like truly one of the biggest things that we can do to improve our community is give more green space and more public parks to people.
All right, so.
Sarah, do you have any questions?
No,
Hi.
all of it sounds good. All of it sounds good.
Okay.
Candace?
Do you have any questions? Sorry, Candace, my back has been to you, sorry.
No, it's fine. No, it sounds pretty good. He sounds like he falls in line with the environmental justice piece. I just went to the SLANK meeting last Thursday, so there's lots of talk about that. So sounds good to me.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so, anybody in the audience have questions? Okay, so we just need a motion, and I can make the motion. Or can I make the motion? I'm the chair.
I'll make the motion, but what happens if it's approved here, then it goes to the governing board for full and final approval?
Great. So
So
is there
you
anything
have
else that I can do to add to my application? Any supplemental material I need to fill out?
I think if you just attend the meeting and you'll have
Okay.
questions from the board.
Right, I mean, I'm trying to picture in my mind, between now and the board meeting, there's only one committee that's gonna meet, that's planning, so.
No, homelessness.
Oh, homelessness meets this Thursday, I mean,
Yeah.
my,
Zoom in, or
Zoom
come
in.
in person, or Zoom in, and then you
you know,
can
for
see.
one or both of those meetings.
Great. Okay. And it's here.
Homelessness is here,
Okay.
well, yeah,
Yeah,
they're all here,
Oh, great.
But they're all on
except for,
Zoom,
except
not
for governing board,
Yeah.
that won't be here.
Okay.
That's at the-
That's the big move.
Yeah, it's the big meeting, so we're in a different
Nice.
community room for that, so, yeah.
So, you know, I mean, it may or may not, either of those may or may not be a committee you wanna be involved with, but, you know, test out those waters.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Hunter, how do you pronounce your last name?
Reese.
Reese, okay. We were.
It's Portuguese.
Yeah, we're it's Reese or Rice. So,
Yeah.
I make a motion to recommend Hunter Reese to,
Be appointed at large.
yeah, oh, he's at large, an at large position to the governing board.
Correct. And do we remember it's 2025?
It's a 2-year term, it's
It's a
2025.
2-year term.
Yeah.
Because Raheem's is also 2 years? We have 2 positions, as it turns out, in
For,
at large. We have Raheem and we have Nuriel's. But Raheem's is
Nuriel's.
available now,
Noriel's is not until December.
January.
I mean, he leaves in December. Okay, well, then it has to
Be
be
Raheem's.
Yeah.
Which I think is 2 years. I think they're both 2
2
years.
years, I think.
From what I saw, the at-large ones were 2 years, which I'm very happy with. And then the district, the zone representatives, I believe my zone was full.
Full.
So
Your zone
yeah,
is full.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. I watched The Voice. Their teams are full.
Wow.
I don't watch that show, but I think I
You get the gist.
I get it.
The teams are full.
So, Raheem's is B, region, I mean,
Okay.
no, how about we
Yeah.
just,
If the vacant at-large seat could be good enough for our motion.
Yeah.
okay. So,
Great.
there you go. Can we get a second? Can I get a second?
Oh, I'll second, yeah, sure.
Thank you. And call for the vote. Can Candace vote? You can't vote.
Not until they give us the.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just a-
okay, so Candace, you can say, oh, I agree or I disagree, but we can't count your vote.
You can sway it.
I'll give a visual thumbs up.
Okay, all right,
Okay.
thank you. So our other candidate is not present, so let's move on to funding requests. And since the other candidate may have noticed how far down the thing is, I'm not gonna ding her yet,
Okay, that's,
you know, because she might show up. Or not. That's why I was checking email. I wasn't trying to be rude. I was just saying, see if I have an email. Okay, so architecture for communities, Los Angeles. That would be you.
Hello. Yes.
So I'm trying to figure out, give me a moment here.
Sure.
You have a request for a neighborhood, a nonprofit grant in
Correct.
PG. Which should we do first? Maybe pull up the request or pull up the video?
How would you like to proceed?
Talk about yourself first.
Well, I was thinking that we would kind of just frame who we are. This is our first time presenting to you. And then we would show you our video, and then we would talk about our grant request.
Okay, so we'll pull up the video first.
I have it ready to go, let's just write.
Right, okay.
Okay, hi. My name is Cerise Griffith, and I'm the Deputy Director of AIA, which is American Institute of Architects Los Angeles, and ACLA, Architecture for Communities Los Angeles, our nonprofit. I am here today with the Vice President of our board, Ziba Gassimi.
Nice to meet you.
And we really just want to introduce ourselves. We've already introduced ourselves as the new entity that is moving into the West Adams District. Our new Center for Communities is going to be at 4550 West Adams Boulevard. And we've met with the Land Use Committee for UNNC, West Adams Neighborhood Council, and we have met with the board of the West Adams Neighborhood Council. And we are here really to introduce ourselves to you as well. We have made a request for funding from both entities, and we want to kind of frame why we approach both entities and who.
So we are ACLA, Architecture for Community, which is a nonprofit organization that is launched by AIA Los Angeles, American Institute of Architects. And but ACLA really focuses on education and community engagement. We are a public charity, and we are really a force for civic goods. Our mission, not to sort of, cut anything out of it, our mission is to communicate the value of design to all people, including future generations, so that they can participate with us in making our communities better. And our vision is to be at the forefront of architecture education and civic engagement throughout the Los Angeles. So we have three areas: K through 12, higher education, and community engagement. And for each one of them, we have a very powerful initiative program. K through 12 has Designed by Diversity that it really brings architecture to community and especially to kids. This year, we had about 84 participation, 10 participation by different organizations, and we had about 700 people participating, 250 of them were students. For higher education, our showcase initiatives is 2x8, which is student competition, and it brings 19 institutions to participate. And this is basically providing the scholarships for students. And for our community engagement, we are doing initiatives through our tent activities and also our farmers market activities to connect to the community, bring architects to the communities, and provide any kind of educational or any help to the communities. So that's what we are, and we are opening our door, to the community West Adams in about a couple of months. We are super excited. We've been on this journey for 3 years. We have really dove in to really understand the community and actually hearing from the community how they want to be involved. And do we want to show the video first?
We'll show the video really quickly and then we can.
Okay,
So
so,
let me just,
yeah,
I think we need to share it though.
right, and not only that, oops, where'd we go?
Are you doing it?
Now I am.
Okay. Canvas is already up, yeah.
Okay, there we go. I think what we have to do on the share screen is
Do the,
We have to do this, this,
Yes.
then this,
and now share,
and now share.
and then watch video. Laura's an expert with Zoom.
That's-
Kind of, sort of,
This is
but
great.
can't
We're
hear.
very grateful.
But, is that what we're supposed to see, a Maserati?
It's probably an
It's
ad.
probably an ad, you can hit skip ad, probably.
Right,
after
but
this.
can the,
I'm gonna pause and ask her. Candace.
yeah. Can I ask our friends on Zoom, can you see this
Yes,
and hear it?
yes, I can see
I'll
it.
make
Do
it
the whole
larger.
screen?
Yeah.
That I don't know.
There we go. Perfect.
Okay.
The West Adams District, a vibrant and proud historic Los Angeles neighborhood situated halfway between downtown and the West Side, will become our new home. In a 1927 neoclassical bank, renovated to be the first freestanding headquarters for AIA Los Angeles and its offspring, Architecture for Communities Los Angeles, to become LA's first architectural community center. A welcoming, state-of-the-art, sustainable place to gather, share ideas, and learn. A hub for the LA design community, this center will develop programmatic activities to celebrate design and architecture, educate and empower communities about the value of design and its positive impact on the development of our city. Provide a space for meetings, conferences, exhibitions, discussions, co-working, networking, and most importantly, inspire young people about the power of design and provide education for our members, our youth, our city leaders, and our fellow Angelenos. A space for the AIA LA and ACLA's staff to operate, collaborate, communicate, and provide support. A courtyard for all communities and members to get together and celebrate design, architecture, and our diversity, which makes Los Angeles the fantastic city it is. Imagine the possibilities. Will you be part of this vision? Join us and help shape the future of our profession and our community.
Thank you.
Stop.
Wait.
Right there.
Oh, I see. Fine.
Stop.
So, thank you very much for entertaining that video for a couple of minutes. The context of why we're here has been mentioned already a couple of times. Architecture communities, for communities, Los Angeles is really focused on inspiring, educating, and engaging our community. And in that vein, we're, as we said, we're a charitable organization. We are reaching out to the UNNC to help us in our process of funding a video that we are envisioning and putting together as we speak. The video is really recognizing and honoring the neighborhood with which we are entering. And the video is really an opportunity for us to help people understand that in moving into this new neighborhood, what is going to be our new neighborhood, we've come to understand, I need to step back. We've learned in this process that really one of the first things we want to do is listen. And in the process of listening, we have learned so much about the neighborhood with which we are entering. And we've spent the last year and a half really identifying potential partners, going to events that our partners put on, like the Walk of Sugar Hill and some other, and I think Ciclavia. And so we've attended events with our tent and with our board members to try to understand more about and listen about what already exists in the neighborhood. And in that process, we want to put together this video. And the video is really honoring the neighborhood that we're walking into. And the purpose of this video is not only when people come into our center, for it not just to be about us. It is a center for communities. We are trying to help educate people about the community with which that they're probably coming to for the first time, many of them, or that they have lived in for quite a long time, and we want them to understand that we're acknowledging it and honoring it. And so we have a series of partners that we are beginning conversations with, and have been in conversations with over the last year to put together this 7 to 10 minute video. The video focuses on West Adams and our being in the West Adams neighborhood, but really it is a tool about what neighborhoods do, what neighborhoods are throughout Los Angeles, and that's why we thought coming to the UNNC as a partner as well might make this even more powerful. The video itself is not just for us. Once it is created, it's a tool for the community. So the West Adams Neighborhood Council can use it, the UNNC can use it, schools can use it to educate people about what exists within West Adams and what our center is and why we want people to know that it's open to the community, and we invite anyone to engage with us by using it for meetings or events, any kind of thing. Student workshops on weekends, which we're already starting to plan, and things like that. So that's kind of an overview of what the purpose of the video is and why we are coming to both entities to kind of, it's a tool for.
Right, so because you walked with me.
I did walk with you.
That's
It was
right.
very pleasant, thank you.
Thank you. But when I take a look as a historian on this community, it's about the layers of history. And I really hope that any video would talk about that, because especially where you are, there's a lot of unknown history west of Crenshaw.
Yes.
And these days a little false history too. So like, was it West Adams? It's now West Adams. What was it? What's its history? And I have only learned in the last few years that actually it was a community where my mother grew up, which I wasn't really so aware of. And I think a lot of history is still emerging from the various neighborhoods, but there's the layers of history. And I would want to share, excuse me, Raheem, who is our chair of the communications. He and his team created a beautiful presentation about what is UNNC. That was very internal to help inform our branding.
We recently went through a rebranding.
But before that, we had this really great presentation that we saw once and then never again, but I have it.
I have it too.
Yeah, and it really talks to the current diversity
Okay.
of our community. And
It's something we can share with you if you.
We definitely, please,
Right.
as we look at how we can put
right,
a video together, really, we're looking at all of our partners, and we mentioned to the WANC that we wanted to reach out to WAHA, which is, what
Laura's organization.
to be a contributor to this. We are really asking for content that we can include, that we can honor and credit, having received from all of these partners, because we can't tell necessarily we don't want to tell a story one way. we want that story to be a result of the people who live in this community providing us with the resources to tell that story. And this isn't like a documentary, it's not, it's the beginning of something that could evolve over the years, but we need that content, so please.
I think that's also important to know that we are starting on something that is definitely not a product that is finished. It's going to be evolving. And we know that the money that we ask is actually not going to get us anything like, right away what we want. And also it requires, time to. So we're actually reaching out to find these kind of information, videos, documentaries that we can bring the snippets of it and create those layers. So it's actually really important for us if you point us to the right directions and also give us permission to use them. So that's,
Right. So our internal, our document, we're not sure how many rights we do or don't have on the photos.
Okay, all right.
I mean, in other words, some we do, some we don't, but
That
But the
branding piece
concept
is
of it.
really just to give you more information about who we are.
All right.
I'm not sure if you'd want to use any of it or not, but it will just enlighten you into who we are and how we.
and when we say we, not who the board is.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the community.
We, the community.
Yeah.
And there's
Wonderful.
there's an interesting video also put out by the Jefferson Park Historic Preservation, I was sure they call
HPOZ?
themselves. Yeah, but
It's
there's
the
that
friends of
organization-
the friends
something.
of the, yeah,
Yeah,
did
they have a video about that
right.
neighborhood, and that, I live in Jefferson Park, so sometimes I feel a little, we're like the redheads in so, but because we were part of originally, Historic West Adams, but like,
Well, you still are.
I know, but nobody really thinks of it that way. They're like, oh, you're the little houses. So.
They're called the bungalows.
The
That's cute.
bungalows, yes, I love them, but yeah, it does feel sometimes like we get forgotten, so that's.
But Jefferson Park is one of the historic communities within
Yes.
UNNC.
And we want to recognize that in this story, that, this is a community that has been through quite a bit, which I learned mostly from you. and in Waha, and reading some of the books that you shared with me. So yes, please, we would love the content. We'd love to look at the content. If there's pieces that we think definitely are like, this is something that we were missing that we really want to include, we'll check with you to see if we can use it.
Yeah, and I think John is connected to the Friends of Jefferson Park, so
John's
what am I
connected to
saying?
all
Talk
the
to him.
organizations.
Yeah, we
Okay.
won't let you ignore Jefferson Park.
Right. Well, I know that John was trying to arrange a walkabout for you all, and then the initial route, everyone on your end said, too long. It was 3 miles up and down hills.
Oh, interesting, okay. All right, well, we can revisit that, because I think the issue is like, we're trying to get into the building, we're trying to get the building open, right?
Yeah.
The delay's late. But now that we're going to be in the building, now is the time for us to kind of begin to look at, as we have our series of open houses, who's involved in those, and how do we want to have those be the jumping off point for some tours, some deep dives into that partner's, what they're doing, having that partner come and give a presentation in our space, those kind of things. So we're open to so much,
Right.
please know that.
So I know that, I'm fogging my glasses too.
So, if I can, what financial commitment have you received from West Adams Neighborhood Council? Have they,
We haven't heard back from them yet.
and you asked for 5,000 from them
Correct.
also?
Correct. And we recognize that, this is something that is a shared effort. We coming, asking for support of something that is not all of the something.
So when you went to West Adams Neighborhood Council, is there a process to go to the executive and then go to the governing board for final approval also?
Yes.
And but you mentioned you've only been to their land use.
So we went to their land use. Myself and the president of our board went to, and our Tracy political outreach, spoke first at the land use committee meeting. Then we were invited from there to the board meeting, the
Executive.
whole executive committee meeting, and we spoke there as well. and we submitted our application and we're waiting to hear back.
Oh, so they didn't make a decision during your presentation?
They have maybe a different process.
Okay.
It might be, I mean, some neighborhood councils have it kind of a 2-month process. Well, yeah, I mean, so for us, the issue I think is in general that our budget is rather limited at this moment in time. And there, because we may have some obligations that we've already made.
Well, I'd like to get an update on that. Candace, if you can tell us what do we have available for MPGs?
How much do we have available for, let me look at the website.
Do you have an idea, Laura?
I have an idea that we didn't put much in advance because we knew we could move things around. And I think the issue is that I don't know where we're top heavy other than administrative things.
Okay, so I'm sorry. So the total that we have budgeted for NPG's neighborhood purpose grants, right? It says here we have $6,000.
Oh.
And we've spent a
Oh,
total of $1,500 on the MPGs we gave out in in September for the community events. So we have a total of 4,500 of our unspent NPG budget.
And then we have unallocated 5,700, right, that's coming in. And then we have some top heavy stuff in administration that over time can move out. But
So I would like, and are you reaching out to any other organizations? I know you have your own organization.
Our internal community, absolutely. It was this timing, like we started the projects and then we started going out and asking for support.
well, I also want to drill down a little bit into what are the costs? I mean, I see the big picture costs, but are you paying for a video editor? It's not complimentary. I mean, in others, what are the costs for this?
Video editor would be the biggest cost. And not exactly sure in terms of whether we need to actually do videoing of different people, what that is entailed. We're just starting this journey.
Right. And were you doing, because if it's a lot of photos, then the question is, do you need to pay for licensing?
Right, so
Or
what
is
we,
that, so there's a lot of unknowns on the costs.
we had an initial kind of wish list. These are sources of things that, that we could identify, and some of them were videos. And so we went to those people and asked for the licensing approval in exchange for credit, because we of course can pay people licenses. Because we're a charitable organization, we don't have that ability. So we have, requested those, and we've gotten many approvals so far. One of them was a Fox News segment on West Adams. We went back over and over, and we've never heard anything, so we can't use that because we can't use something that hasn't been approved.
Right,
So yeah, we are asking for approvals of what we've identified so far.
right.
And if you were to present the UNNC video and it was pieces that we
Yeah,
would ask you for.
I think ours would be problematic because of the
Licensing.
image licensing
Okay.
that we didn't do.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
but
But
in
we have
terms
a
of,
voice, we could
yeah.
have yourself or the gentleman who's your
Sure,
communication as a
sure.
voice that speaks to that.
Right, but I was gonna say, Dolores has her hand up, I was just going to say that in terms of architecture photos, that probably is something West Adams Heritage has most of those photos that we took.
Okay,
So you wouldn't have to pay for licensing, but if you were doing vintage photos, that's a different story.
just a different story, okay.
Dolores.
Hi, everyone, or good evening, everyone. I'm just wondering, rather than make a recommendation to support or not to support this evening, could the recommendation be that it move forward to the full board where a decision could be made then? after the full board is able to view the video and hear the presentation?
Well, that is what happens.
But I think we have to have a funding amount attached to it, Dolores.
Correct. And also, we're gonna have a nightmare of a next meeting. So the more we can hammer out now, because remember, we have to do all of the agenda items that we didn't get to at the October meeting because we didn't have quorum, plus new items for November. So
But I mean,
we'll still need to do this.
right, but you still have to go back to West Adams Neighborhood Council, so I mean, if we needed to postpone them until December, I think that we could do that.
As well.
Right, but I would like to, any more questions, Sarah? Questions? I'd like to make a motion that we,
Yeah, I know, it's like how much
Yeah.
do we have? We have another request
yes,
coming right on
So-
their heels.
right.
That is time sensitive. So,
Yeah, ours is time sensitive as well,
Okay.
but yeah.
I'd like to make a motion that we support this with a $2,000 MPG.
okay, Sarah?
Any comment or thoughts? We
Yeah.
have $4,500 right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say at least 1,000, so 2,000 is a good place to start, and then when we go to governing, see where they are.
I'm good with that number, you probably aren't, but,
We're,
well,
honestly, we would be grateful for whatever you can do as partners in the project. We want partnership.
Right.
So thank you.
So that's my motion.
okay, and I can second it. And Candace, again, we can hear your thoughts.
Dolores has her hand up
And
again.
Dolores has her hands up again. But I want to hear it from the end.
Go
So
ahead,
I
Candace.
Okay, so I think, so not to get into the reshuffling of money that we're gonna talk about later, but it is possible to I think maybe between 1,000 to 1,500 will be good. We do have some money that we can shift that's not encumbered from the rollover funds. So we can talk about that. So yeah, I think between 1,000 and 1,500 is still good. And then that would leave enough money for us to do a couple of more neighborhood grants. Cause what is this? We're in October. So we probably will end up getting more requests as the year goes on. So it just depends on how much we want to shuffle around from other categories. But the available rollover, if we wanted to use all the rollover to go into the funds, is like $3,500. So that's just kind of a thinking point.
Yeah, I think unless we've used some of it, I think our available rollover was 5,700, Candace.
Right, but a portion of that is encumbered for the tree project that we already said that we were gonna do.
No,
the-
That was separate.
Huh?
yeah. Oh, I know what Candace is.
So I talked to, well, so I was emailing
Yeah.
Anna about it, and she said that there was the holdback portion of it was there, and then the difference is how much is part of the
There was a
road.
portion for the
So they can-
bridge, then there was a portion.
But
for
we
the
can
highway.
talk, but we could talk about it.
No, you're right, Candace, you're right. Dolores,
Yeah.
you're here.
Right, so
Doris,
the
After we met, let Candace finish.
right, so the $5,988.04 that we have rollover, there is 2,575 of it that we have to hold on to for the tree project. So the actual amount of the rollover is about $3,500.
Got it.
Yeah.
Right.
I was just going to bring up the same thing that Candace just did, that we're not even in December yet, and our fiscal year ends next year, and we only have 44 or 4,500 in the MPG budget. So I was going to suggest a lesser amount than the 2,000. So 1,000 to 1,500, I think, would be appropriate in the event we get some other requests.
Well, let me just make sure I understand. So we have 45 right now, and then about 35 that is available from the rollover, correct?
Right.
So that.
Right, if we choose
8,000.
to use all of the rollover and put it directly into the
Right.
neighborhood grants,
Right.
then we have approximately 3,500 to put in there.
Right.
It's a little less than that.
Right, and then there are other administrative costs, operational costs that we know we're not going to use.
Well, we're not gonna be spending any more money on insurance, for example.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, we may have other monies,
Right.
but we don't know that tonight. That's
Right,
the
right.
thing.
And let me just remind you, Candace and Dolores, last year, in April or May, we were trying to spend our money. And we gave additional funds to some of the people who had previously come in for MPGs, Dynasty, and a couple of other ones we.
Right, so they're not coming back this year,
Right.
because we
and-
gave them a lot.
We
at
gave
the
them a
end of
lot. So
last year.
I just want us to be conscious that, or aware that we don't want to be in April again trying to distribute a bunch of money or buy a lot of stuff like we did last year. So if somebody wants to amend my amendment, I'm still with the 2,000, but.
Well, Sarah, I think going with 2,000 to the governing board is appropriate, and then see, with a lot more voices, see what people think.
Okay. I mean, the three of us have to vote together for this to move.
Right,
I'm good
right.
with it, with forwarding it to them.
Right, but with the caveat that, as everyone knows, when we put a number here, that's what goes on the agenda for governing board. And we can always vote for less, but we cannot vote
Yes.
for more
Yeah,
at that meeting. So I think it's good to do the 2,000, but hear from the whole board
Okay.
at that meeting, and it may reduce, sorry.
Okay. Right.
But it can't
Or
get
it may
bigger,
not.
or it
or
may
it may
not,
not.
but it can't get bigger if we go with a smaller number now.
Right.
Okay, understood.
So you seconded?
Yes,
We are just.
only the three of us vote,
Yeah,
so.
we all said yes, so.
I'll say
okay.
yes.
All right.
So we move forward to the board with a recommendation of $2,000. We have heard you guys loud and clear.
Okay,
Okay.
so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
You're welcome to stay for the rest of our meeting. Miriam,
Miriam.
right? You want to come over here?
sure, sorry.
Or you can come sit next to me.
Yeah, maybe better that way.
Yeah.
Because
Laura's contaminated.
Yeah,
I have 3 kiddos, so I'm trying not to. Oh, totally. Look, I'm open to whatever.
The Zoom will follow her.
It'll follow her.
It won't let her go. Won't let her go. It's just that the clown is following you. So, do you want to introduce yourself while I search on my
Absolutely,
your-
absolutely. My name is Miriam Dorsey. I am with Project PIT. Project PIT is a nonprofit organization that bridges arts, entertainment, and education, and brings attention to social impact in a unique and engaging way. Our most recent event was a mental health festival right at Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Mall called I Love Myself this past May. We partnered with Los Angeles Department of Health to produce a festival. So it was music, mental health vendors, resources, community resources, health, just traditional health resources.
Teresa, I did something bad.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
No, sorry.
Just, where am
We can just close
I?
this now.
Exactly.
So it was this huge festival, and it was partnered with Council District 8 and Council District 10. So Councilmember Heather Hutt, as well as Councilmember Marquise Harris Dawson. From that moment, everyone who came on said, this is amazing. We've done other events within South LA as a whole, but it just really kind of highlighted some important factors within the community and the immediate community. So we had a lot of feedback of people saying, how do we get this into the schools? How do we further this? How do we get kind of these unique, engaging situations into the classrooms and really highlight mental health and social emotional learning in the schools? With someone with an education background, I have my master's in education and I grew up in this area. My little sister actually went to Frederick Douglass, which is now the charter school on Adams. We thought, why not start to bring these micro-run programs into campuses that we've been impacted by. So we started at Teach Charter, and the video is our micro-run of I Love Myself School Tour at Teach Charter High School. And so we decided, you know what, let's continue it on. We had a lot of interest, and we said it's only right that we go into the areas and neighborhoods that we come from. So that led us to Johnny Cochran. They actually have a health festival happening in December, and we started talking and partnering with them, and they were like, please, can we have you in December and can we have you in March come out and really kind of do what you do. So you'll be able to see in the video what we do, what we
You
provide.
have to remind me how to get to
No
the video.
worries, fair enough. You know what? And I think it's on, well, not I think, it's on YouTube. So I think you should be able to just type in I Love Myself
Okay, how we do this?
school tour. Go to
At the
YouTube.
top, at the top.
Go to
The browser.
YouTube?
Yeah, yeah.
But how do I do that?
Just type in youtube.com at the top.
And noting that nobody here can, the Zoom people can't see this yet. just
No,
we
we'll have
here.
to combine.
And then
And then-
search.
I Love Myself school tour.
Well, I think
But
you
it
need to
has
put
to
some
have the
spaces.
spaces.
Yeah, Laura, because it's not a.
Well, I know it's not that.
Okay. No, yeah.
Yep, no worries. Technology.
Just scroll down, Laura, maybe it's down a little bit further.
And we can be more specific if we need to.
Go up a little bit, go up more, I thought I saw something.
So you can do I Love Myself school tour and
I love
then
my, affirmation.
type in Teach High School and that should pop it up. Wow.
Who created it?
Hmm.
That'd be easier.
Project Pit.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
under ours.
Look up Project Pitt at the
Oh.
end. Or just put Project Pitt at the end of Teach High School.
You are amazing.
Hopefully that goes.
PIT.
I know.
Oh, there it is, the
There you
second video. Thanks.
Yeah, no worries.
Teamwork. Teamwork.
Stop it. Share. Sorry, you guys, I know I've left you behind here.
And probably make it larger, Laura, little box in the corner, down, yeah. And hit play. Oh, it's not yet.
Oh, no, it's no audio.
I did.
Today was a very good event. We break down, and thanks everybody for coming.
Thank you everybody for coming out and helping us with health awareness.
I thought that the workout class was really fun and really inclusive, and they had really good music.
Hey everyone, my name is Stephen Menduke. I'm the principal at Teach Tech Charter High School. Shout out, I Love Myself School.
My name is Divinity. I'm with R&B Yoga, and shout out to I Love Myself School Tour.
Hi, my name is Wendy, and this is Marlene, and we're with Community Services Unlimited. And shout out to I Love Myself Tour.
What's up, you guys? Ali from House of Vibes, Wellness and Nutrition, and I wanted to give a shout out to I Love Myself Tour. It's going down. We're making an impact. Let's get it.
that being said, we brought in all of those activations to just highlight.
There's one simple hearing hack anyone can use to improve their hearing.
And how it ties into each other. In the midst of that, in most of the areas that we service and serve, it's just there aren't as many kind of interactive resources like this that are physically tangible to the students as well as kind of to the community. So like I said, we're working with Johnny Cochran Middle School as well as West Adams. They said that those were two schools that they felt
West Adams Prep.
Yes, West Adams Prep, that could really use and utilize the services. So that's essentially what we're doing within schools. Again, we've done Teach Charter. We're confirmed with Palms Middle School and elementary school. So we're all across. Our goal is, though, as we kind of venture further out, to make sure that we service the communities that we came from. So that really is the reason why we're here, to get support. Again, because we bring all that out, the request is just based off of two specific areas, which is the Kids Zone, and because Johnny Cochran said, hey, actually, we want you guys to come more than once. So it doesn't cover the entire cost of our activation or programming. It's just specifically the Kids Zone and to sponsor one activation. And it really is. The teachers get involved, the principal got involved. So it really is a day of wellness and health, and brings unity to the school, to their peers, like to really kind of allow everybody to see everybody for them are their authentic self, and to be able to walk away just having a positive and different experience.
So I think initially you reached out to Sarah, right? No, it was.
No, our program manager, Amber, didn't reach out.
Right, it went to someone and then to me.
Yes.
But it went to someone else and then to me. I just got it about a week ago.
Got it, okay.
Right, and then I talked to Amber.
Okay.
And I thank you all for listening, because there was like, well, what are the schools? And she was naming them all over the city. It's like, they really need to be here. And you guys have implemented really quickly. This is speaking to Johnny Cochran. So I appreciate that. I'm a little lost in terms of what you were asking for before you hooked up with Johnny Cochran, and now you have. In other words, this was prepared without Johnny Cochran in mind.
Right.
It's more general.
Right.
So what specifically now is it?
So they have a specific wellness day that's happening in December, and they have another one in March. So theirs is similar to kind of what we did with Teach.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing kind of this wellness day. They asked us to come in and partner to enhance the wellness day, specifically highlighting and bringing in kind of a kids chill zone, as well as bringing out our DJ, as well as bringing out some additional activation, so that the health activation with the food and stuff like that is actually a farm on Vermont where they grow their own. It's a community farm, so they're coming out. So they wanted those resources. So they specifically kind of pointed out some specific requests as it pertains to their school, as well as bringing in like we're going to bring in our hosts and stuff like that. But those are things that we're covering on our end. For this specifically is the Kids Zone / Chill Zone, as well as the like audio equipment for the speakers and presenters.
Have you received any additional funding from other organizations?
As a for this one. So we're matching. So whatever we get here, we're going to, our organization is going to match it. We've been applying for grants and things of that nature outside of here. However, it really is important. So for our board, it was just, okay, if we don't get enough funding, we'll try and figure out how to cover the cost.
Right.
So.
And also, I'm just curious how you heard of us.
Yes, well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering if it's our new board member.
No.
Michelle King.
No, we actually, working with Council District 8 and Council District 10, they kind of mentioned like, hey, reach out to your local neighborhood councils. We also produce Jazz at St. Andrews with that neighborhood council. And that's where we really learned, oh, there actually are community organizations that are here that actually support their community. So that's originally where we heard it. And that was in partnership with Council District 8. And from there, we've kind of just looked around to see, okay, what's where, who's in what, especially because we're working in these neighborhoods already. So that's kind of how it all popped up.
Okay, so I think you already heard that we probably don't have $4,000. Right. Right, so what do you guys think? Should we try the same 2,000 and see where the board goes with it? Well,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know we
Yeah,
have
go
some
ahead,
comments.
Candace.
Yeah,
comments.
so I was just gonna say, similar recommendation to what we did to the group before. Which is maybe go to the board with 2,000 and maybe land around 1,000 or 1,500. So then that will have us spending about 3 of our 4,500 until we decide to move around other money how we want to. Just a thought.
Any comments?
And not up. Sarah, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not, it makes sense to me to just go to the board with 2,000 and see where it goes.
I was gonna say a little bit less, but I agree, well, we can have that greater discussion. at the board
I would
meeting.
like to see a more detailed budget, and that would be for both. You know.
Okay,
Yeah.
And do we send it prior to, or
Oh,
what's
yes,
the-
please, because, I don't know if you noticed, we do an agenda packet.
For the DJ would be $500 for the mats.
We did one for Southwest, the neighborhood council. So we'll just share over what we sent to them.
Right.
You asked for the same amount?
Well,
They can write it up.
Yeah, no, last for 4,000.
Yes,
Yeah,
for-
okay, so do the same.
yeah, I mean, we just don't know what we.
No, fair enough. We don't mind sending it.
Okay, and yes, so in advance, because what we do, you probably
No, if
noticed
you
we
do it
have.
the next couple of days, that'd be great. 'Cause
Okay,
I have it ready to go, because I'll be on the third.
We posted in an agenda packet, and I'm gonna cough again, I'm so sorry.
And what happens, we need to read all the documents in there, so that way when they come to the meeting, they can make an informed decision in 20 minutes with everybody looking at it.
Fair
And, yeah, so, but you will have to come back in.
Okay.
And also, the same great,
And the comeback in is a different location, so be in contact.
Okay, perfect.
and then shut up.
But we haven't done the motion yet.
Yeah.
Oh.
I made the last ones.
Okay,
I'll move this. I'll move it forward, a recommendation to support the effort with a $2,000 MPG.
and I'll second.
All in favor?
Okay, I'm walking out of this room to cough better.
Okay. Well, you guys are welcome to stay if you or if not, I know you said you had to get back to having a meeting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Although staying probably kept you at the same time.
Well, I don't wanna, we don't wanna delay your meeting, but it was a pleasure meeting every single one of you.
Yes.
And hearing about your movement to the new neighborhood that you've moved in and about an incredible program that you're doing in schools.
Hopefully we can partner.
Yes.
Yeah, we look forward
That'd be
to
great.
working with all of you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time.
Okay.
Safe.
So we will go back to.
You headed out to Miriam?
I am. Thank
Okay.
you guys so much for
Thank you
appearing.
everyone online. Thank you.
Right.
Bye, thank you.
Hunter, feel free to move up a little closer.
Thank you.
Did our other candidate come?
I'm checking email again.
And what about Paula? All right. So, Laura, I'm just gonna continue to move forward, if you don't mind. We can do the secretary's report?
Right.
Yeah. Do you want to bring that up? Do you already have?
I think I have that open somewhere.
Do you want me to do it?
Sure, but I
Okay, go
don't
ahead.
see it now.
I didn't know if you were going to continue the call.
I kind of was, because I don't have a lot of control. But see where it says draft UNNC, that's it.
Okay, right here.
Right. Ugh, I need a cough drop myself.
Do you have water? Do they have water here?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we started last month's meeting, the usual call to order, roll call, to move the agenda. We had a couple public comments. We had our usual exec committee business, treasurer's report, vice president's report, President's report, talked briefly about the SB 411, which I can't remember what this stands for. I know what it is. Motion to send a letter about CF 02000990 to Vanessa Serrano. Appointment of.
Did we do that?
I think we said we were going to do that this month. This is October.
Okay.
But we're not doing October governing board meeting, so I don't know. I don't think we did it, did we?
Well, we didn't have the meeting, so I don't know.
We
Maybe
had an October governing meeting.
No, we didn't have, remember, we didn't have quorum. Oh, no, you weren't there.
That's right, I was there.
Yeah.
I was there.
Oh, yeah. So maybe Mo
Okay.
did do it, we just didn't.
That's right, we couldn't get to it.
Yeah.
Angel City Pit Bulls were here and we talked about that. Keep going.
Yeah.
And then we had committee report and that was about it. So,
Okay, great. We don't have to make a motion or anything else.
it's acclamation.
Right, yay.
Right, then, treasurer's report.
Hey everyone, so kind of touched on this before. So at our last executive board meeting, we talked about rollover funds. And so I was able to meet with or have a discussion with Anna, and I asked her about our $5,988.04 of rollover funds. And she said that the money for the tree comes out of that. So the difference is the money that we just didn't spend yet.
So Candace, were you surprised to hear that? Because I am surprised to hear that. We worked really hard to kind of know what our funds were.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the money, that 575 was beyond the rollover.
Was I surprised?
I would like to see in writing from Anna how the math was, the calculations were done.
I can circle back and ask her. I have I can show you the email that she sent me that said.
Right, but I mean, our math, we were really closely following.
Yeah, no,
I thought it was, I thought we were just.
Hold on, because I have let me find the letter. So there was a letter that talked about rollover funds there too. Let me see. Whoa.
Would that be two different tree planting things? If one is encumbered, or she is Anna conflating those two?
I don't know. The $2,575 was the amount of money we voted and put in a check for to pay that one company for essentially it was
permits and the stump removal.
Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And it does seem like a high number for just that.
Right.
And it was on hold, it was on hold, it was on hold, it was on hold. But I thought it was still part of our last year funds.
That's what I thought,
Right.
and it came
And we
across.
were doing our math around that money.
It won't
Do you
let
want, can you let her share?
Oh, sure. Are you?
Do you want to share?
Yeah.
I can show y'all the letter.
I know.
Maybe, and I'll be fair, maybe it's the way that I asked her, but of course I can read you her response here. And it basically
Here,
said,
you can share the letter.
yeah.
There
So
you go.
here's, all right.
You're a co-host now.
Okay, so I have a lot of screens.
I mean, you can share the letter if you can find the letter in your share function.
Yeah, no, I have a bunch of screens open, so I also have some work stuff on here, so I don't want to like share the wrong thing. Let me make sure.
Do be careful. We don't want to see the love letters.
I wish. No, I'm sorry. Remind me we're in public. I have for my day job, I lead a fellowship, so that's part of what I'm doing too on Zoom while I'm not there, because I have to. This is our kickoff week. Hold on. So I just opened it. Admin. Oh, here it is. Okay. Yes. Okay. So this is a letter that we got from the city clerk in late August that basically talked about our annual budget being $32,000. adjustments, including rollover. And then the expenditures we had for last year were about 40,000. And then see the accrual for the tree, that's the $2,575. So then the net cash is this. So when I asked her about the rollover, she said that the 2,575 was accrued, and then the rest of that is the difference of that is the money that we didn't spend.
So the difference is 48,000 minus 42,000 equals 6,000.
I don't know. She said,
No,
well,
I mean, if you look,
That's what it says.
that's
But
what
it
it
does.
says. That, whoop.
but when I asked her,
But you gotta go back to where you just were.
yeah, when I asked her, she made it sound like the money.
No, but
No, but when you
here,
look at
just
that-
look at this carefully. I
Okay.
just do round numbers. 48,601.
Right.
Subtract 42,613
Right.
equals more or less $6,000.
Right.
But the 2,575 is within the 42. It's not separate from the 42. So we should have accrued of 2,575 plus 5,988 rollover. The problem is if we don't spend the 2,575, it gets sucked away.
But we are, I mean, that is the.
Yes, she
So-
said that they.
Look at this. You have a Santa Claus? No. Thank you. So I think this is worth questioning.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think it impacts the decision-making on the funding request tonight, but I do think it impacts going forward, because the issue is on that tree project, assuming we don't want to lose the money we've already committed, that's not all the money. You know, I don't know what they're doing over there in Western Heights. I've actually left a message for Chris, asked her to come tonight to update us. That's obviously didn't happen. Because they have more money they want to spend. I mean, the project was closer to 5,000,
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
if I recall.
Yeah, yes, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Nice to see. Yeah. Good job. Thank you. You know how hard it is for me right now, Sarah. Yeah.
And just so long as you don't blame me on this. But yeah, so, but that's another additional 2,000-ish that we need to kind of keep in mind that might need to be spent, although if we don't, maybe we just spend the part we've accrued.
I feel like I'm going to ask her about this again because I'm reading her answer and it feels like the money comes out of that, but
It doesn't. Yeah, it does. It's not sensible. I mean, somehow it doesn't make sense. There may be a way of making it make sense, but in that, it does not make sense.
So let us continue.
Okay.
Can you tell us about the, what do we have? The MER for this, do we have one of those available?
I have it.
We do. Let me share that for you all.
And it was in.
So our MER for this year, for September, shows all of the events that we did our MPGs for last month. Geez, this is flying. But for the West Adams Jazz Festival, the outreach funds for that, the Friends of Jefferson Library, the event at Amazing Grace Conservatory. We also made a payment on our public storage unit.
Candace, you shared this with us at the governing board where we couldn't vote. So
Right.
we have this
So
one. Do you
this
have
is-
another one?
No, we don't.
No,
This is the only one?
Right, this is the most recent.
Oh, okay.
one. Yes.
Okay.
Because October's isn't ready yet.
Okay, we're good. I'm good on that.
Yeah. So I also talked to Paul and he showed me the infamous spreadsheet here. And so he gave me some information about just the spreadsheet, that it's basically the more detailed version of what the budget said. He said that the city doesn't necessarily ask for this. This is just for more accounting purposes for our purposes. He also gave me some insight on bills that we don't see that just kind of magically get paid some kind of way. So he said the monthly storage fee that's on the card, so that's the public storage that pops up. He said the PO box, he's never seen a bill for that.
That's not true. No, I pay that.
Oh, you pay
Just
that,
like
okay.
did see the bill.
Oh, well, because it's a credit card, it's not a check.
It's a credit card, okay, so so then we talked about the invoices for Zoomwinkle. I get those, so I'll submit those. And then he also said to ask about, I told him about the insurance. So I was like, I think we have insurance now, so that's money that we can move around.
Well, we don't need insurance for the community space at Gramercy, but if we do our own event.
If we do any events where we need insurance, we'll still need insurance.
But not 2,000, I don't think.
Right.
So that's some of that money that we can.
Well, some of that money's already been spent.
So
Okay,
that was
several meetings.
Couple of meetings, it was spent.
Okay.
So that was the point that he asked me to ask you all. Since we don't have to do the insurance for the meeting venue, do we still want to keep some insurance for events that we might have to insure? So that was exactly.
Probably.
Okay. So that was kind of my adventure into Treasury Land.
Can you scroll down a little bit, Candace?
So so he said that.
I see one we don't need.
Okay, I'm what?
Newsletter, $2,400. Remember Greg put that in? And there's nobody who said, I want to do the newsletter.
Okay, so that 2,400, are we making decisions now? Or
No.
We're just giving
Because
an update?
Candace had asked for another month
Oh,
before we
okay.
had to do this.
Oh, okay, good.
But
I
I'm
would
gonna.
love to see this too, Candace. Is this in the packet? This
Yeah,
document?
no, 'cause we just got a chance to talk about it yesterday. But I do remember at the prior executive board meeting when we were initially thinking about the admin packet and you all were like the spreadsheet and I was like, what spreadsheet? It's not on the website.
This is the spreadsheet.
This is the spreadsheet, yeah. So when I asked him about it, he said, oh yeah, I'll show you the spreadsheet that they're talking about because it's not a city clerk spreadsheet, it's an internal. I didn't know that.
Is there any way you can email that to the executive committee, Candace?
Yeah, I can share with you. I think it's in the it's in the master folder, but I can share it with.
It's in the Google Drive?
Which Google Drive? What master folder?
There's like and in the Google Drive, I think there's a thing that says like treasurer documents or something.
Oh. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, and then it has like, right. Then
So
it has like the older ones too, because he kind of gave me the history. He's like, Greg and some other folks like inherited this, so this was something that was internal to folks.
Okay.
But
So you updated it with the 2023, 2024, and you kept it in that same Google folder.
Right.
Okay,
so,
I'll go in and try to find it.
Right, because
So
some
I'll
of
share
this.
with you are. So like, for example, he said, this is kind of the running sheet that we use to like figure out what we're gonna put in the big admin packet budget. And then
I would
just
love to
the
do that
numbers,
again.
because the city
That's
doesn't
great.
want this much, the city doesn't want this much.
Denise did that.
She did as president?
Well, economic development.
Oh, economic.
Let's focus.
Okay, but we digress.
Yeah.
Okay, we're just chit
Thank you,
chatting.
Sarah.
We're just
Get us
chit
back on
chatting
track.
here.
Okay.
Thank you, Sarah.
All right.
Somebody can chair this meeting because I'm not doing a great job.
Sarah's like,
All
it's
right, so these
Yeah.
are, so far, these are the ones that we've done. The walk we did, the jazz festival.
Right.
And then geez, like some of these are just like predicted things, but I can update the name of things that we actually do and the amounts here in the column in order to match up what we do.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
So I've been working on my treasurer stuff a little bit. I think, and now that I'm thinking about,
But will we be ready to really do it at the next executive and then the December board meeting to actually update our budget? Because I know
Well-
you're not ready tonight. We're not ready tonight. You're not
Right,
ready
and I
tonight.
also think since our meeting is gonna be like 9 hours long, probably.
No, we're not doing
Yeah,
it. We definitely can't do it at
It
November
it
board
probably
meeting.
would make sense to do it, to bring it to the larger board in December.
Yeah, that's, okay.
Okay, great.
That's fine, that's enough time.
Dolores. And because Dolores is gonna have some stuff to add. And then her hand's up right now.
I saw on that budget, mailer for Region 6. Does anyone know or touch bases with Raheem as to what's going on with that? The last time I communicated with him via text, he had picked up the box from Print Depot, and he said that the stuff had to be bundled and then
Right.
taken to the post office. And I profusely volunteered, let me help you. If you don't have time, let me have the box. I'll bundle the stuff up, and then we can take care of getting it to the post office and paid for. I haven't heard from him about that since.
Ugh. Okay, and again, I have to go with whoever's going to
I
post
haven't
office,
heard-
or Teresa does.
Yeah.
One of us has to go with
Yeah.
to pay.
Well, one of us have to go to see Raheem and pick up the box with all this stuff. Because even if he hasn't bundled them in 100
Right.
bundles.
Right, well, that's what
We
she's
can
saying.
do it, yeah. So
Okay.
how do we do that?
Well, we know where he lives. But I guess we should make sure he's home.
Yeah.
I can't, I'm not gonna just
His
show up
house
at
is
his
painted
door.
the UNNC.
We are still on Zoom.
By the way. Well,
Tell Dolores what you wanna, how you wanna go. about it.
well, one of us has to go to Raheem's house, so I will try calling him. He sometimes picks up the phone and literally talks to me, so we'll see. Because I don't think he's trying to hold on to it. I think he'd be happy, should be happy to let us do it instead of him. So, okay. And
When
then
you talk to him,
Teresa
just
got
tell-
her credit card, so that means
Yes. So
As soon as I turned in that last form, I got it like 5 days later. So
when you
Okay.
talk to him, what's that girl's name? Laura.
Lizzie.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
When
What's
you
what
talk to
girl's
him,
name?
Laura.
Lizzie. We cannot get into, Lizzie won't give the passwords, Raheem.
No, what?
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, are you talking about, what are we talking about?
Okay, when you said you were gonna call Raheem, when you talk
Yes.
to him, tell him that I'm willing to do the bundle. Just release the documents, release the box, and then we'll get it done.
Got it.
And
Will
any
do.
instructions that need to go with it.
Okay.
And he did give me admission to the Facebook page.
Oh, yay.
Raheem did.
Okay, great.
So, and then I met with Lizzie yesterday, and she showed me how to post stuff on there. So I was having some problems before, but she showed me how to do it. So that's okay now.
Oh, okay, great.
So we're
If I
still
had to
working
send
on
him one
Twitter
more
and Instagram.
text.
We still
And
need
I-
the other two.
Why didn't Raheem give you the passwords for those two, Dolores?
I don't know.
Maybe Gabby has some.
Okay.
All right. Another thing that needs
Teresa, you
resolving.
asked too many questions.
Yeah, okay, but, this part, so far, so good. So, Dolores, I think what we're saying, back to the budget, is that if we're gonna next executive clean up and update the budget. So can the outreach committee have its prices for the stuff, tent, whatever it is you're talking about acquiring? We need to know those numbers to get them into the budget.
Dolores has been reaching out to the team and
Yes.
to Print Depot, so she will have.
No, I know that, I'm just saying, we've got our deadline.
Okay.
So by your next committee meeting, if you can finalize and get it to Candace before executive in November. Also, executive in November is the Tuesday, unless we change it, the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. So we need to,
Oh, yeah.
we need to talk about that too.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do have, hold on, I do have one more question. So because we didn't have quorum and it wasn't like a meeting,
That's right.
I can't upload the BAC for the.
Correct.
Okay. I just want to, I didn't miss that. That's it.
You didn't
No,
miss,
there were no BACs.
there were no BACs. There's no expense reimbursement to pay Michael for the pizza. There's no anything, but we're gonna have to, have quorum is what we're gonna have to have.
We're gonna have to move fast.
Are we on C, Laura?
Yeah. Oh, hey, nothing has changed. The couple of people who think they took the training and have sent me screenshots of their training, that so far I have been unable to convince Dunn that these screenshots are real.
Oh my goodness.
Well, it could be that they're not.
How would you find a fake
they're not
screenshot?
falsified, but they're not finalized.
Oh my goodness.
People who take these tests on their cell phone, they should take it
I
on a
think we need to
computer.
Not everybody has access to a computer. That's.
I know.
But we probably need to decide, are we gonna go with that, or are we gonna go with what Dunn says? We need to.
Well, we don't have a lot of leeway. I mean, we can go with that. We can choose for our take your training within a month or within 2 months, whatever our thing is, to go with that. But at some point, Dunn has the 6-month mark, that if people don't take their ethics and don't take their funding in 6 months, they're out on their keister. So.
And I'm just gonna state for the record, that if that happens, we are not doing reappointments of people when they, like we did with someone else, when they were removed and they were like, oh, I'm not gonna support that.
I would say at this point, we can't, we just gotta let it them handle it.
Right, but it is true that they don't, there's no explicit instruction. You log into Cornerstone and you're on an iPhone. Turns out an iPhone doesn't do the fun. And they know it, but they don't have a warning when you log in saying, if you're on an iPhone, it won't work.
That's not good.
And that's not good either. And it's not like it's
At the
news.
top, it said something like, use Safari or use.
Well, Safari is
particular browser
an
to use.
operating, but that's.
Safari's on iPhone.
No, well, Safari is also the Mac itself.
Yeah.
But I don't know the difference in terms of the end game.
Yeah.
But the point is I have nothing to report.
Okay.
Everything you guys already know about people's attendance is the bad people are still bad.
Okay, they're not bad. Okay.
And they're getting worse.
All right,
So-
number 6.
Exactly.
Request to recommend.
Right.
All right.
Tree queen over here.
Yeah, okay, wait. The next, on the president's report, those two things, A, forget about it because I don't know if she has an update, but on B, Paula and I got an email, so I got it too. That Commissioner Joy Atkinson is planning a town hall for the South LA, neighborhood councils, and wants to make sure every neighborhood council in South LA is involved with the planning. And she's called for, I can look it up for the date, a particular Zoom meeting. And the question is, should it, since she invited Paula and myself, should it just be Paula or myself or Teresa, since you're interested?
Yeah, no, I don't want to take on anything else. I'm good.
Okay, and Candace is slank, so.
Yeah.
So
No,
just,
Candace, I was on that meeting too. Candace.
So
Pardon
that's
me?
not the same?
no, it's weird because it's why Cyrus and she are going around to all the neighborhood councils, I think.
Right.
But it's not the same as slank.
Yeah, no, I remember when, I think Cyrus mentioned that they were trying to get a special meeting with all of the neighborhood councils in South LA.
Right.
And I think that's what BONC, the Board of Neighborhood Councils, is trying to do, one just for all of South LA. But I don't know anything about planning on it, and I don't.
Here,
wanna be
pulling up the email. So she sent an email to 35 people. We plan to conduct a town hall meeting in South Los Angeles for 15 neighborhood councils. We've been waiting for the new members of boards to be installed, for all officers to be elected, for board vacancies to be filled, and for the many new members of NCs to do their ethics and financial training. Well, we're all waiting for that too. The purpose of the town hall.
Yeah.
The purpose of the town hall would be to discuss issues of importance to NCs, administrative issues important to conducting NC business, how to conduct and set up an efficient plan of action. Most importantly, the strengthening of the alliance between South LA neighborhood councils, known as the South LA Alliance of Neighborhood Councils. What planning entails is logistics, place, time, and date. program, prioritizing most important topics, speakers, if any, we want to hear from you. This is your first notice of our planning meeting. I will be reminding you next week and the week after that. Yay. And it's Monday, November 6th, 6:30 p.m. Zoom meeting.
So I'm fine with you and Paula representing, both or one of you representing UNNC in this planning.
All right.
Okay. Yep. Great.
Okay, so that's that.
Right.
We've done the interview candidates.
Tree committee, 6.
So can you pull up on, do you have my?
I do.
Okay.
Yes, I know.
So, as you guys know that there's a lot of tree activity happening, it's been happening. A few months ago, Heather Hutt appointed me to Community Forest Advisory Committee. And I would like for us to have all of our tree activities to fall under one committee. A couple of years ago, Environmental Committee started doing something with KYCC to do plantings. That money is still sitting with KYCC. Laura and I have been trying to identify the trees, locations through KYCC, but recently Environmental took on another project to remove some dead trees. And then there's Chris Carlson's project, and I just feel.
Jefferson Boulevard.
And that's another one.
And there's also, I think CD10 is doing a tree planting on 3rd Avenue in Arlington Heights. There's just lots of stuff going on.
So I think for UNNC, if we could have all the tree activities fall under one committee, it would help us streamline, get alignment on all the different projects, and also present to CD10 a phased approach to getting those tree wells, the tree cages removed on Washington Boulevard. So.
Well, the real question I have for you, Teresa, is do you want this to be a standing committee that must have regular standing public meetings?
The meetings can be quarterly. We don't have to have it every.
No, well, that's what I'm asking.
Yes.
Because if it were.
No, I'd like for a standing committee meeting.
Not a subcommittee to anything else, so that you could have the freedom to do it whenever you want.
Well, I tried to do that with planning and zoning, but when I did what happened, Environmental decided they want to continue to do tree things, so. No.
Well, not inappropriately. I mean, in other words, you're trying to take it in a different direction. I think that's fine, but it's not inappropriate for the Environmental Committee to be handling it, because when it was established to incorporate the prior Sustainability Committee and Tree Committee. There were 2 committees rolled into.
Is there any intersection with what you'd be doing in recreation parks?
Not.
No, because those trees are they're not effective. We're talking more like the residential areas.
The parks, all the trees that fall under parks are overseen actually by parks. They have an entire division that manages all the trees. I'm really talking about the public right-of-way trees.
Yeah.
And possibly there are some other programs for private, it's called P to the 5th, private plantings on trees, private property plantings, but that's another.
Hey, I'm only trying to figure out administratively, which is the best way for you? Do you want to have a committee with standing meetings, whether it's monthly or quarterly, or would you prefer to have more freedom to call them when you want?
I prefer a standing committee that meets quarterly.
Okay.
So that's what I'm asking for the board to establish that committee. And certainly I'd like to be chair. If there's anybody else who's interested, then.
Do we do that here, or we just forward this to governing board?
Well, it'd be a recommendation. We forwarded
a recommendation.
Yeah,
that's
if
what I
we
was thinking.
forward a recommendation.
Yeah, because that's what we have to be.
Well, it's establishing a new committee.
Yeah.
You should.
Now let me just be clear.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did pull it up, right?
Yeah, it was up, but I mean, everybody already saw it. So on our website, we did previously have a tree committee.
Yeah.
So it's not like we have to establish it. It is there, an inactive committee, just as economic development, just as the youth committee. So.
Well, in fact.
Okay, that's how it is. That is.
Is that what it says on the website?
Maybe we are revitalizing the tree committee.
Planting it again.
Oh. Yeah, there's so many bad. It's getting too late. We're getting.
Okay, yeah. So.
All right, I'll move to forward to the governing board. The revitalization of the tree committee.
Planting again. Okay.
Of the tree committee and installing Teresa as the chair.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Okay, thank you very much.
Yep.
Is that the last thing? Oh,
no.
Okay.
not to call, but it's almost, not quite. On the book, regarding the Neighborhood Council Code of Conduct, I don't think we need to go through it because this was not meant as an item where we would make a comment about it. But this has been going on for a couple of years.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, a couple of years, and there's been tremendous pushback against the code of conduct by a lot of the neighborhood councils in the valley and some in the harbor. Whereas there's been a lot of push for this code of conduct, particularly in central East Hollywood, Northeast, and our area, because it's all about
recognizing people, allowing them to self-identify. There are conservative
Yeah.
areas.
Inclusion.
Yes.
Okay.
Who,
yeah, I was just trying to think of a nice way to say,
Okay.
don't dead name people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
Right.
Got it.
And
so anyway, so
it's
really no
about to
discussion.
be adopted. Yeah, it's
they're
about
gonna
to be
get
adopted.
Good.
And the main thing is that the biggest change in some ways is that it will require that committee chairs and committee members need to sign the code of conduct. They can't
Even those who are not on the board.
Correct. The ones on the board will have to take the new code of conduct through Cornerstone.
Sure.
But this new code of conduct actually has the code of conduct attached as a piece of paper, as an appendix that can show a signature. So essentially, our committee chairs, if they're not board members, will need to sign it. Secretary will need to keep their signatures on file. And we
So
will
like
need
Donna Jones.
Yeah.
She was
and we'll
co-chair,
need to
right?
decide what we need to do with people who participate in committees.
Interesting. Okay.
You know, I mean, in other words, they're not really members except for the night, but it will be a way to help make sure that in our committees, we are complying with the
But we
code of
can't
conduct.
control the public, so if someone chooses to behave a certain way, we can mute them, or we can just say, that's not how we manage our meetings here, and that's inappropriate, and just keep on going. So,
Right, but the chairs will have to sign.
okay, that's good.
And they cannot do it in Cornerstone because the city pays a fee for every person they.
How many chairs do we have currently besides environmental who are not
Oh,
board members?
John
Oh, that's
Arnold.
right. That's right. John. So two.
No,
Two, right?
Tori.
Oh, Tori's not in there.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And we don't, Recreation and Parks could be someone.
Okay,
I mean,
that's true.
you know, and.
I was just curious. I couldn't remember. Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's.
I feel like all those people, because they come to meetings, I don't know.
That they're on the board.
Yeah.
Well, Tori used to be on the board, John used to be on the
Elizabeth
board.
used to be on
And
the
then
board.
Elizabeth, right.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so consideration of citywide issues. Dolores had asked us to consider maybe doing a community impact statement on this number 8A. Wait a minute, coughing again.
Street vendor permit?
Street vendor permits.
Dolores, can you tell us your opinion on this?
Reducing the cost of the permits from $5.50 to $27.91.
Dolores?
Can you tell us why you thought this might be interesting? Excuse me.
Let's just keep going. I'll send her a text. She probably stepped away.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the other one, oops, I'm gonna really not be able to say anything this second. Really?
No worries.
The next one,
UNNC response
Yeah.
regarding
All right.
removal of the Transportation Commission president.
Right, well,
Yeah, did you read the article on this, Sarah?
No, I missed this one.
All right, so.
I think I brought it up.
Okay.
If it's in the
West-
agenda packet, I can find it.
Okay, in Westwood,
Mhm.
there is a building that is 33 units for a homeless project, a homeless, I think it's interim, actually, interim.
It's interim housing,
That's
it's a parking lot.
It's parking lot for 33. It's across from the old West Side Pavilion. What it is.
Yeah.
So the neighborhood council does not support it. For some reason, as it moved through, it went to the Department of Transportation.
Well, the commission.
The commission, the Department of Transportation Commission. That board, the chairperson said, I don't know why we're getting this. So until we have someone from DOT come in and explain it.
Explain why we're doing a sequel on it. California Environmental Quality Act.
on this.
All the acronyms.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
then we're not gonna take a position on it. That position is appointed by the mayor, so the next day, the mayor, even though
Fired him.
she had recently reapproved him for that position, she relieved him of that position. A few days later, it came before the city council. The city council unanimously, except one person was absent, approved this, these 33 units. Neighborhood councils, local residents are really upset. There are some people who, of course, we're all fighting for housing for homeless.
Right.
And, the mayor has Executive Director 1, which allows housing projects to be built and circumvent
Right.
CEQA, circumvent design, circumvent tree preservation, circumvent many things because we're in such desperate need for housing. So I guess you brought this
Well,
on.
it's not so much that I know this person or that even I've ever presented to that commission. But the entire commission voted to defer until they had a report. I am more concerned that we present to other commissions. And I want to think that the mayor, in her wisdom, appoints professional people properly to commissions who have the expertise for whether it be recreation and parks, transportation, planning, housing commission, whatever it is, the expertise to deal with things professionally. And I want to be able, as a neighborhood council person, to bring our cases professionally and have a modicum of, objectivity in reviewing those cases. So if instead the mayor is just going to fire people if they don't agree with her, then why do we need to have commissions?
Just to play devil's advocate, he was a carryover, even though she did recently appoint them. But those positions, they all serve at the pleasure of the mayor.
Right,
so
of course.
Here's my agenda and what I feel is important. And if you're not in alignment with me, then I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to
That
replace
is sort
you.
of what happens.
Yeah.
Well, that is
somebody
what
else.
happens, although it happened rather cutthroatly, since it apparently didn't matter, because the rest of the board, the commission, had voted in the same way, and it just moved on without them, and it was passed by city council anyway. So she didn't need to fire him.
Well,
Because
maybe he's not on her
I was
team.
gonna say, I guess there are so many things citywide, like we've talked about some other issues, that
Yes.
because they don't technically happen here,
Right.
do we need to really say something? I understand this can have,
Well, we don't have
Impact
to.
everywhere.
I'm bringing it to y'all
Yeah.
because we should talk about citywide things, but that doesn't mean we refer all of them to the board. So we can drop it here.
Yeah, I'm with Sarah on this one.
Okay.
Okay.
I
So
think we
Dolores
should
says she's
stay out of that. I'm back.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about street vendor permits. We'll stay out of that one. We will stay out of that one. Just wait till it's a commission you like. I guess Hunter's gonna like us. Anyway, street vendors, what were you thinking?
I had some comments from some stakeholders, and that's the reason why I brought it up as to whether we should weigh in on that or not. And I had a comment from a stakeholder in the north and in the south of our footprint, and their concern is why the big leap from $500 down to $27 and change. And are they going to reduce fees for other entities that do business within the city? They just had a bunch of questions that I couldn't answer.
Okay, well, I have the report from the CAO. Okay. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so essentially they came to this conclusion that if there's no enforcement, they removed 22 enforcement staff people from the Bureau of Street Services, and therefore the fee would only be $27.51. So it does seem to me that this is one of those mayor arm twisting things, maybe, because really, are they going to get rid of every enforcement person from the street bureau? Anyway.
Or are they gonna move them to another area?
Right.
Street services is huge.
Right.
I'm curious what the concern is if it's cheaper. Is the idea there'll be too much competition?
Well,
I'm asking Dolores, why did people say why they were concerned about the price decrease?
I can read you the text messages that I got. Let's see. Why change the fees? What other items does a person need in order to get the license? Seems like only one particular demographic know about any programs to assist with the fees or to get a permit in general. To lower the fees for vending, to appeal to a specific, oh, that's the same thing. No, that's to appeal to a specific demographic and not lower fees for other types of permits and taxes, etc., is discrimination. The city council should think long and hard before making a change that clearly supports only one group. Also, how is the vending permit fees used by the city, and how will that after now be funded, or what will be the impact to that area that is more supported by the vendors, the vending fees? Here's how's that, or here the vending here's that are now 500. I don't understand that part.
I think I get the idea, but
how will that area now be funded?
Okay, well, so let's back up. I'm sorry, I can no longer see anybody. I don't know how to do this.
No.
Well, what I want to do is show you that the 541 is just this year, but it was 291 for the years before that.
So
went
it fluctuates.
Yeah, when
they do it based on the cost, which going down to 2751 is very drastic, but that's partly because they cut expenses.
Well, no, the updated fee does not reflect cost recovery.
I thought earlier it said.
You see where it says I'm sorry.
Right here, Laura.
Right there, updated fee. For us, where to go?
Go higher?
It was right above where we were. There. The updated fee does not reflect cost recovery. So this is not the only program where the fees don't reflect cost recovery. For example, HVOZ fees do not reflect cost recovery for homeowner applicants to do the most minor of things, but then they start to reflect cost recovery for more expensive proposals. So it's not across the board that they do cost recovery.
So do we think with the reduction in fees that there will be more people trying to apply for street vendor permits and therefore have more activity on the streets?
If they know about it, I think so.
Probably, and you know the word's going to get around.
Which, I mean, that we are a capitalist economy. Competition is the name of the game. And in a city where we want people to own a business if they want to own a business, the permitting process is not that old, because I remember a few years ago they were like, we're not going to let new people, and people were calling like on their neighbors for having carts on the street. So I just feel like, and with the fluctuation, which I think is a little crazy, but with the fluctuation, clearly, once they get a lot more people doing it and they have to enforce it again, they're going to have to hire more people, and the cost is going to go up.
Well, here's interesting. I'm reading another interesting part. When they first established the fees, it was they thought there are 50,000 vendors, many of whom are not legal, and 16,000 would apply for permits. But they only are doing annually 944 permits. Right?
So really, we're not even really getting permitted vendors anyway.
Right.
Maybe they just get it out. So maybe that's maybe it's a trial year. Let's see if when it's really cheap, if people will do it and buy in, and then I don't know what they're thinking, but I also with this sort of feel like if it's fluctuating that wildly every year,
Yeah.
what is our saying something going to, I don't know.
Because 2 years
I
ago,
don't
they
know.
did a big push. Remember, they even came out to the neighborhood
Yeah.
council and talked about it. They had hired these consultants, and they only issued 1,000 that year. That's, yeah.
Maybe it was a pandemic.
All right.
I
Okay.
don't know. I'm just getting sick and tired of sitting out tables and chairs like it's a restaurant and there is no health people regulating any of it. That's I don't care about people, being entrepreneurs and selling their wares and stuff, but if restaurants have to have health permits and all that, why doesn't vendors have to have it?
Oh.
Sorry
What
about
happened?
that.
What you pointing at?
The camera just went to the creepy guy in the corner. So I don't know if he was saying something, sending out bribes, but I think that's.
I don't know.
For us to wrap up.
Yeah, I feel you, Dolores. I don't personally partake if I don't recognize some sort of health code, whatever. But we have people who frequent those places partly because the food is inexpensive, and I don't know. I go back and forth on that.
I don't know either, Sarah. So anyhow, I was asked the question, so I said I would ask the question at the board
Well, the
meeting.
question is,
I
do we
did.
want to do a community impact statement? No.
No, I mean, we here's the thing, we could say, we agree with this and we think it's great and it's gonna be really good for the community, or we don't agree
Right.
because,
Well, I
we
think the
think it should
community
remain
is.
high to limit the amount of people
Right.
on the streets because it's obstructs
Or
pedestrian.
we,
But if that's small, the
or we
percentage
agree
is
with
permitted
it,
anyway.
or we agree with it because if it's only $27, they'll all get permits and they'll have their health inspections. I don't know.
I say we don't do it.
Right. So Dolores, I think the truth is this. If any one of the people who's texting you, wants to write a draft community impact statement and propose a specific thing, then we could consider that. And if we had an economic development committee, that's where it would go. But since we don't at the moment, although Ed Saunders says he might want to do it, but since we don't at the moment, it would have to come back to executive. But in other words, somebody needs to take the initiative to write something because none of us have the passion to write it in either direction.
Okay.
Okay?
We'll do. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Usually we have an opinion on everything, so this is really remarkable.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I have neighbors who are totally pissed off about the taco stand on the corner of Cimarron and Washington, and then I have other neighbors who I see eating there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I'm sure that's true for every one of them, every single one. Okay, we have committee reports if as needed not. Do we have a committee report from Outreach?
I do, but due to the time, we can forego it.
Okay.
I
Well,
just
did you
want to
wanna
thank
tell us
Paula,
how
our
the
president, for
events
showing up
went?
at the Taste of Soul.
Yeah, tell us about the event.
I'm still not getting your emails at all, Dolores, about event signups.
Oh,
Yeah.
I checked your email address and it was right. I thought.
It's Curly something. I
Yeah,
remember
Curly
she's all right.
Sue, no.
It's Curly 88 at
No,
email or something.
8080.
Oh, 880.
All right. Somebody else is getting your email.
I wonder why.
I'd still be in my 30s. That would be nice.
Okay, so just real quick, I sent out 3 notices about the Taste of Soul, and Paula and Show signed up from the emails that I sent out and the announcements at board meetings. And a Show signed up and President Paula signed up, but Show was a no-show. And so it was just Paula. I was there from 10 to 12:30, then Paula came and we stayed until 3 o'clock. There was thousands of people there. We had quite a few people that stopped by the table that was actually in our footprint. A lot of the people that wanted bags were not, but we had several that were in our footprint. including a young lady that moved into the neighborhood, and she introduced herself. And I think she lives at 8th and Adams, or so somewhere around in there. And she was real happy to see us and meet us, and happy to get the package so she can get more information about our neighborhood council. So yeah, it was pretty good. The other events were really good too. Did I talk about the Wilshire?
You did,
Wilshire event? Yeah, Teresa and James, as always, thank you very much, was there. Paula came, Grace came. Who else?
Laura.
Laura came through. So that our table was funded, was supported there and we met the commander that's that over the whole shebang. So it was really nice. They had the food truck. I guzzled down the hot dogs and then got indigestion. So yeah.
Ice cream. It was a
Yeah.
free event.
Were you there when Dolores and Paula did the posing on the motorcycle?
No.
I
see those
photos.
Yeah.
Oh, about those pictures. I have pictures from our events. So do I post them on the Facebook page, or what do I do with them?
Facebook, and if there's any that are really great, we could put them on the website, I guess. Oh, I have an update about that too.
Ann and Doug are on.
Yeah, Ann and Doug are on vacation for a couple weeks, starting today.
23rd, right?
Today, but they're still gonna do our regular stuff. They've got other stuff, but I don't know if we can do extra stuff.
Yeah, we can wait to add that, but I think there might be some good photos.
Well, I'm sure the photo of
put on
Paula
our
on
website.
the motorcycle is
Yeah.
great. Actually.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, so agenda items for the next governing board meeting is basically the agenda items we had already. Plus, the thing that Teresa mentioned from environmental committee.
The tree thing?
Yeah, tree thing. Washington Boulevard has a whole bunch of dead trees. It's basically a recommendation that we ask the council office or
the tree committee.
Or the tree committee, whichever comes first, tree committee or the board. But anyway, to take an action to remove, it's 17 dead trees. Plus,
So what I'm
most of
gonna
which are
say
in
to you,
pages.
Laura, is that any recommendation to do any tree things, come through the tree committee first, and then the tree committee will bring it to the board for action. That's what I'm gonna recommend. You can go forth with this if you want, but that is gonna be my recommendation.
Okay.
All right.
But
the question is, why would you not want that? But that's another thing. I don't want to talk about it now. It's already 9 o'clock.
But is there anything else? No. Agenda items, you'll just let Paula and I figure it out, or
And you'll
there's
send
any
it to
other?
us for
Yeah, yeah.
approval before it goes out.
Right.
We have so many things left over from the last
Oh,
meeting.
no, we have a big agenda, but I think we have
We're gonna go through it really severely. We're gonna.
Well, I don't
Or
know.
we're gonna go very
Very
quickly.
succinct.
We
Yeah,
got
we have to go
yes.
through fast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, we need to appoint.
We're adjourning, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. There.
Thank you.
Bye, you guys.
Good night, Dolores. Bye, Candace.
All right, good night.
Okay, wait. You two, we stop.
Right.